According to Webster Dictionary, Code of Ethics is a set of rules about good and bad behavior. What Professional Regulation Commission said about Seafarer Code of Ethics? For the marine profession to progress and remain as an orderly and dignified profession, and to further maintain its fruitful standard of practice for the interest of the nation and the general public, these rules of professional conduct are hereby formulated and adopted as guidance for all its practitioners. Article 1 General Definition. A marine officer shall mean any person who holds a certificate as a deck officer and/or as a marine engineer of any grade. A marine officer shall be covered by this code even if he is under suspension, but his status as a marine officer shall cease if his license has been revoked for any cause. A marine officer is said to have performed an act unethical to the profession if such action or actions are contrary to the established conduct hereforth mentioned. Article 2 Duty to the profession. A marine officer shall strive to elevate, maintain and contribute to the honor and dignity of the profession. He shall conduct himself with the traditional decorum of an officer and a gentleman, restraining himself from all acts contrary to the established rules of morality and personal discipline. He shall continually improve his professional competency by keeping up to date with the latest technological and scientific knowledge being applied in the marine fields. It shall be his obligation to keep himself in readiness for the next higher license by constant reading, diligent studies and keen observation of the shipboard activities. He shall make financial gain secondary only to the service that the entire profession can render to the economic growth of the country. A marine officer shall not hesitate to consult his fellow marine officers in matters that will affect the honor and integrity of the marine profession. He shall expose, without fear or favor, to the proper authorities of the profession, corrupt or dishonest conduct of members of the profession whose existing practices can degrade the reputation of other practitioners. Every marine officer should aid in safeguarding the profession against the admission to its ranked persons who are unfit or unqualified in moral character or professional training. Article 3. Duty of the staff. A marine officer, in his capacity as a person of high technical potentialities and delegated with leadership for the discipline of his men, shall recognize and respect the four supreme authority of the state. A marine officer shall strive to become an exemplary citizen by the devoted or fruitful fulfillment of his civic duties. He shall perform his professional duties in conformity with the existing laws. He shall endeavor to assist and cooperate with the proper authorities in the enforcement of maritime and custom laws and regulations. He shall offer to the state his full knowledge, experience and material possession in the interest of national security and especially in time of national emergency. Article 4. Duty to the public. Every marine officer shall compose himself as an officer and a gentleman, and act honorably when dealing with the general public. He should be concerned foremost with the safety of every man, woman and child who boards his ship as a passenger by following all safety measures prescribed for shipboard use. He shall contribute his professional knowledge for the general welfare and comfort of the riding public to gain their respect and confidence. He shall, above all, continually consider the preservation of life, health and property, even at the risk of his own life, to enhance the sense of public interest that is an integral obligation of the profession. Article 5. Duty to a superior. Marine officers in a subordinate capacity shall always render the traditional respect to a superior officer. Subordinate shall render the necessary assistance, if possible above and beyond the call of duty, so that their superior, or the entire organization, can be assured of a successful operation of his assigned duties. A subordinate shall strive to gain the confidence and respect of his superior through a prompt and efficient performance of his assigned duties. A marine officer shall promptly and efficiently follow and obey all lawful orders of his superior without questioning his integrity. A subordinate must always remember that he can only give recommendation to his superior and that final decision must be left to his superior's discretion. A subordinate must always remember the command responsibility of a superior and must give the proper assistance within or beyond his specific duties. A subordinate should never openly criticize the actuation of his superior with other subordinate officer, more particularly with unlicensed personnel. In the event of inquiries, he should only state actual facts but never his opinion as to whether his superior is right or wrong. Article 6. Duty to a subordinate. A superior officer shall always conduct himself with the proper decorum in his act or deeds and thoughts to set an example for his subordinate befitting his rank or designation. He should give the necessary training, guidance and opportunities for the improvement of his subordinate's competency and especially to overcome his shortcomings demanded by his license as a marine officer. He should continually mold the character of his subordinates to impress the importance of command responsibility. He should give merits unselfishly when due, to inspire his subordinates to achieve greater results. He should not hesitate to listen to advice of his subordinates but exercise discretion before implementation. He should not hesitate to admit errors in his decision when it is obvious, but it must be done within the circle of his staff. Article 7. Duty to his fellow practitioner. Every marine officer should work together in mutual cooperation and harmonious relationship by sharing individual knowledge for professional advancement. He should associate with his colleagues in any reputable and recognized Marine society to further broaden his knowledge. He should never attempt to issue statements to the general public concerning the shortcomings of his fellow officer. The following specified acts of a Marine shall be deemed to be unethical as a breach of professional ethics, subject to immediate disciplinary action. Open criticism of a fellow officer without the knowledge of the other. Spreading false information on the professional competency and ability of other practitioner. Degrading a colleague in order to acquire his position. False recommendation on the competency of another officer. Maliciously withholding information or knowledge to place others in a controversial situation. Tending to accept a position lower than his highest license to displace another officer applying for the same. Exerting political influence to displace co-Marine officer or engineer. Certifying that he can work better or could render service more satisfactorily than another. Openly expressing that he holds exclusive methods of practice or style of service. Article 8. Violation and effectivity. Non-compliance with any of the provisions of this code shall be deemed sufficient grounds for proceeding against a Marine officer and/or engineer which may lead to suspension or revocation of his licenses.